when you made the decision to retire from your playing career in
Mm-hmm.
2017, were you hoping to get into coaching? And I guess take me through the retirement decision.
Yeah, so I actually retired from international softball in 2017, but continued to play in the pro league until 19. So that was my official last year. When I got out of it, I didn't have any plans to coach at that time. I figured I would stay in the sport in some way. Our national team program was always in contact with me to help as our players were heading North America for the off seasons. So I always had my foot in the game in the sport, and I thought maybe I would stay in it to that capacity. But with regards to the college route, it wasn't anything that was on the cards. It just it happened in the blink of an eye. Funny enough, Laurie Duncan, who's helping me here, took her position in the Quad Cities with Augustana. I called her to congratulate her, and she said, "Well, you don't need to congratulate me. You can come coach with me." And I did that, and then everything just rapidly took off from there. And a few months later, I found myself in the SEC, and a year later, I'm finding myself back in the Midwest. My wife's from the Quad Cities, and the Iowa opening came up, so it happened in the blink of an eye. So it wasn't really a full-on plan, but I didn't resist it when it came about either. Yeah.
So I guess 2 times now you've kind of become a head coach,
Mm-hmm.
an acting head coach through different circumstances.
Yeah, for sure.
There's unique circumstances. I guess how did that help the Augustana experience? How did that help prepare you for maybe a surprise here at Iowa this year?
I guess there was some preparation. Maybe I haven't thought about it too much, but maybe there certainly was some preparation with just understanding that change can happen at any moment, and sometimes it's not always at the ideal time. And maybe that lesson there taught me that, hey, as long as you keep moving things forward, you're going to be fine. So yeah, that probably played a role there. But from a preparation standpoint from coaching, I'm the son of a coach. I've been in coaching in the national team back in New Zealand for a long time, so I felt confident in the base knowledge for the game. But yeah, the college ranks is a little bit different just with how they operate. And then yeah, the last minute changes or whatever. I guess I was getting prepared for it, and I didn't know I was getting prepared for it. So
Both your parents coached, or just your mom was a manager?
Mum was a manager, Dad was a coach, and he's coached at all levels from club ball to provincial representative to international stuff.
What's
so.
the difference between a manager and a coach?
So yeah, a manager is kind of more of, I guess, in the college scene would be more like a director of operations, and a coach is purely the X's and O's of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read that in a story. I didn't know what the
Oh
exact
yeah,
difference
yeah,
was.
yeah. So
And then I guess, what brought you back to Iowa? Why did you take the Ole Miss position? What brought you back to Iowa?
well, I took the Ole Miss position because it was a chance to jump in the SEC, and I'd sought advice from some friends around me, and obviously the SEC is a very strong conference when it comes to softball, and it was the opportunity to kind of get involved there and kind of just learn kind of how the back end of it ran, so it was a good opportunity. But coming back, my wife's from Iowa. We built a home in Iowa. We've always been Hawkeye fans, so the opportunity to come back to Iowa was appealing to us. And then when this opened up, it was a no-brainer. Yeah.
Lori, when she offered you the assistant coaching position in Augustana, how long did you consider it before you told her you're doing it?
It was less than 24 hours. Yeah, Laurie's one of those people that she's hard to say no to, because she does everything for the right reason. She coaches for the right reason. She wants to impact kids in the right way. She's really open to player development focused, and she seeks out as much knowledge as she can to make that available to her kids. So that was really attractive to me. So yeah, I didn't have to think about it. I had opportunities prior to that I hadn't taken. For one reason or another, but it was hard to say no to Laurie, and I didn't want to, so I didn't.
How long did she take to get back to you on reaching out for help this year?
About that same time frame. It was pretty quick. So I kind of cornered her and kind of made sure she didn't say no. So yeah, so we have a good relationship, and we like to help each other out. So.
And what's allowed you to make Iowa kind of a new home? Because when you came over to North America to play softball, I guess how did you end up in Iowa, and how did Iowa become home?
Well, it was the base for one of the companies that I was playing for that sponsored kind of in the pro leagues, and just the people of Iowa were really similar to the people of home, and they were really welcoming. And I was a young 17, just turned 18-year-old. So having good people that kind of support you and look out for you and look after you kind of made it feel like home pretty quick. And even though I've moved around within the States over the last couple of decades, Iowa has always been like my second home outside of New Zealand for sure.
I guess how did the international play? I asked Jalen the same question, how you can use your international play to help them since you played on the highest stage.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you see your international play help you as a coach?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, on the international side that I was involved in, the sport was played at extremely high level, very quick, very powerful. A lot of intricacies of the game that are still making its way into the college ranks. So I think it allowed me to come in and be able to operate in a way that allowed me to calmly present the game to the girls without feeling like it's rushed or overwhelming. Just being conditioned to operate at a higher speed allows you to slow this game down. And I think the girls respond to that too.
If you suck, you lose. Jalen said one of your strengths is being open and honest with the girls. Where does that come from?
Definitely my dad and my brother. When we were growing up, we had very, very lofty goals, which included winning national and world championships. And if you're going to try to compete at that level, especially if you're not genetically gifted, you don't have room to fluff it. You better be straight to the point and move on and get your work done. So we didn't mix too many words. We weren't necessarily caught up in the way the message was delivered. We were caught up in the information. So sometimes I just deliver it as blunt as I think I need to, so they know exactly what it is I'm saying.
Anything else you can tell me about anything I've asked you about that maybe might be important for the story?
Nah, the suck you lose thing's pretty good. That wraps it up in a nutshell. Yeah, that's about it.